This is the video lesson for 2.4 through 2.6. Okay, the first lesson we are adding fractions with exponents. So again, requiring you to show me your side work. This would be 2/3 times 2/3, which is 4/9, and then 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1/4. So please show all of your work so I know where you got your answers from. So this is going to be 4/9. Ooh. 4/9 plus 1/4. And then it becomes what we're doing a couple lessons ago, common denominator, which is 36. 4 becomes 16, 1 becomes 9. If you have trouble with that, make sure you go back to the previous video. And that's 25 over 36. I think it was the first video lesson, I'm not sure. Just look back at your notes. Okay, the next one, show your side work to get that this is 1/8 plus 9 over 16. 16 is my common denominator. 1 becomes 2, 9 becomes 9, and that's 11 over 16. Okay, as always, you should pause and try these examples. I'm just going to go for it. 1/2 cubed is 1 over 8. Again, show your side work for that. 2/3 is 4 over 9. Show your side work. Common denominator is 72. So this is going to be 4 times 8, 32. And then that's 41 over 72. Okay, next one, 1/4 squared is 1 over 16. Minus 3/2 cubed is 27 over 8. So again, I'm not showing the side work right now, but you have to so that I can see that you are doing the problem and showing all your work for all the problems. Okay, common denominator is 16. 1 stays the same, and this is 54, and that would be negative 53 over 16. All right, so there are so many ways to do these next set of problems. I'm going to show you the easiest way. So normally what we would do is 1 minus 1/2, find a common denominator, all that stuff. But if you use your common sense, if I have a whole pizza pie and we ate half of it, how much is left? Well, that's 1/2. So that becomes 1/2. So for problems that you can do in your head mentally, I'm okay with you not showing the work. However, some students cannot do that mentally and have to do the whole common denominator spiel, which you can do. So I'm not. So 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. And then what you do with these two numbers is you multiply them. And then 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This is going to be 8. This is going to be 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So this is going to be 1 over 64. This one is a little bit, you have to kind of do a little side work. So for those that may or may not know, improper fractions, we kind of leave them that way in math. But in this instance, I would encourage you to convert it to a mixed number. So this is the first time that I'm showing you 3 over 2, how that becomes a mixed number. You're going to do 3 divided by 2, so that's 1 1/2. So in this parentheses, it's going to be 2 minus 1 1/2. So doing like the pizza example I was doing before, if you have 2 pizza pies and you guys eat 1 1/2 of it, we only have half a pizza pie left. So this is going to be 1/2 to the 6th power, and that is 1 over 64. We already just did that. So yeah, instead of doing 2 over 1 minus 3 over 2, common denominator is 2. You can do that to get the 1/2, or you can just do this, whichever works for you. But I need to see work for both if you're doing it this way. This I didn't need to do the side work for because 1 minus 1/2 is pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is some practice examples. So I have 1/2 minus 1, which is negative 1/2. 2 times 2 is 4, and that's negative 1/2 to the 4th power. So I know it's going to be positive. A negative to an even exponent is always going to be positive. And a negative to an odd exponent is going to be negative. So in this example, I'll highlight it. have a negative to an even, so I know the final answer is going to be positive, so I'm just going to write a positive sign so I don't forget. 1 to the 4th power is 1, 2 to the 4th power is 16, so my answer is 1 over 16. This next problem, definitely some side work. So 2 minus a half is 1.5. Again, if you think of the pizza pie method, you have 2 pizzas and you guys eat half of 1 pie, that's 1.5 left. So the problem now becomes this, and then 3 times 2 is 6. So what we do here is we figure out this work in here. So this is 1.5 divided by 2 over 1, and 1.5 is 3 over 2 times 1 over 2, which is 3/4. So this becomes 3/4 to the 6th power, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that's 27, 27. So 27 times 27, whatever that is, 4, 14, 18, 14. 1, 5, 9, 2, 7, 2. Okay, so this is 729, big number. And 4 to the 6th power, 4 times 4 times 4, 4 times 4 times 4. So that's 16, 24, 64. So that's 64 times 64, 16, 2, 5, 6, 24, 2, 38. So 6, 9, 10, 4096. So that's 4096. Okay. If you don't like this method, you can do what I showed in the beginning videos, where you would find common denominator, which would be 2, and that's 3 over 2. So that's still the 3 over 2 that I got here, and then 3 over 2 divided by 1/2 is still 3/4. So whichever works for you. All right, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the 3rd is 8, and 3 to the 5th, I have no idea. So that's going to be 9 times 9 is 81. So 81 times 3, which is 243. So that's 243. 3 squared is 9, so I have 243 over 9. So that's a long way to do it. What you can do is, if you have this, if your bases are the same, so I have 5 3's on top. If I write them out like this, it's easier to see. And 2 3's on the bottom. These 2 3's will divide out with the 2 3's on top, leaving me with only this left. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So I would get a 27. Or you could have reduced this to get a 27, but this is not encouraged. Okay, 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 27, and that gives me a 59. All right, so the next one, I have 2 squared times 2 to the 4th. So another way to do this is to add the exponents themselves. So this is 2 to the 6th, and then the denominator is 3 squared. So let me explain how I did that. So when you multiply 2 exponents with the same base, you keep the base and you add the exponent. So that's where 2 to the 6th comes from. And then 3 to the 6th over 3 to the 4th, you keep the base and you subtract the exponent. So that's how I got 3 squared. We could have actually done that here and got 2 to the 5th plus 3 squared, which is 3 cubed, which is 32 plus 27. We would have still gotten 59. So moving on, 2 to the 6th is 8 and this is 64. So this is 64 over 9. Okay, try this next example. I'm going to write this is negative 2 to the 6th power, and this is going to be 4 squared. 2 to the 6th, I think we did that before. Yeah, that was 64, so negative 64 over 16. I'm going to reduce by 8, and then reduce by 2, get negative 4. Remember, this negative is not part of the base, so we just carry that over. That was from a previous video. Okay, next example looks kind of intimidating, but it's really not. This becomes 1/2 to the 5th power because I added the exponents. And this becomes 1/2 to the 3rd power because I subtract the exponents. So that the rule that I showed you 2 slides ago applies even if the base is fractions. So 1/2 to the 5th is 1/32. 1/2 to the 3rd is 1/8. Common denominator is 32. And that one becomes a 4, so -3/32. I definitely do not encourage you to figure out what these are separately. Change them all to this to make your lives easier.